Hi guys, Kaze here. Welcome back. We're back with Office Lovers with Mr. Saijo. Saijo. There we go. I could say your name. Haha. Alright, we're on chapter 6, Hearts in Sync. Before we start, I'd like to remind you guys to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and check out the comments section down below and let me know what you thought of this chapter. And let's get started. Mr. Kaido had to know why Mr. Saijo was acting so strange lately. I only came in the hotel to find out that one thing, even with a man I didn't know well. Let's not stand here all day. Sit down. I'm fine, just tell me about Mr. Saijo already. Not so fast. What do you want to know anyway? He stood up from the bed and came to me, lifting up my chin. Stop it. Feisty, is that how you talk to people? That's better. If you behave, I won't have to do anything bad to you. He looked down at me with a faint smile. What? I wanted to escape. I didn't want to be in a place like this except with Mr. Saijo. However, I had to know what was going on with him at all costs. Are you going to be a good girl now? Yes. Good. He accompanied his laughter with a haughty look. It was degrading to me, but I said nothing. Stand in front of that closet. Okay. Next to the bed, there was a large closet. I stood next to it as asked. What was he having me do? I rubbed my cold fingers together nervously. Good. Next? Yes? He gave me a devilish smile while thinking of what he wanted me to do next. Whatever he wanted me to do, I would. I wasn't scared anymore. If I could find out about Mr. Saijo, I would do anything, no matter how much I hated it. Call out for Mr. Saijo. What? Was I supposed to yell out his name, like he would come to rescue me? I stared at Mr. Kaido in disbelief. Not up to it. I am. The man in front of me was more horrible than I thought. He knew I couldn't disobey. I bit my lip. Mr. Saijo, help me! I screamed out his name, hoping by some miracle he could hear me. Mr. Saijo, help me! Sakiko, are you okay? What? The closet behind me opened up and a shadow appeared from inside it. The person threw his arms around me in an embrace. I was too stunned to move. Huh? Now he helped me. The smell, too. I recognized it. Mr. Saijo? Yes. He let go of me and moved in front of me. It was without a doubt Mr. Saijo. What? Run away. Hug him. Hug him. You came for me, for real. Of course I did. No matter when or where, I'll be there for you. Have you been hiding in my closet forever? I felt so happy, but why were you in the closet? I'm sorry to ruin it for you, but can we get on with it already? With what? His cold stare brought me back to reality. I felt the blood rush out of my head. I know. I'm sorry, Mr. Saijo. I can't tell you how sorry I am for coming here with... I just can't believe myself for coming into a place like this with someone other than you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, you got it wrong. We're going to explain what this is all about. He put his hands on my shoulders to calm me down. In his eyes there was no signs of anger or sadness. Seeing that I could finally settle down, there must be a good explanation for all of this. There was no feasible way, Mr. Saijo, to just appear out of a closet when I called him anyway. Sorry you had to listen to this creep. I was really scared. Well, thanks to me, you're getting along better than ever. Tell me what's going on. You sure didn't go a little overboard, Kaido. Even though they were getting along, he was looking at Mr. Kaido like he wanted to kill him. Don't forget, it had to be as real as possible for it to be believable. I'm sorry, it's just like, yeah, showdown. Versus. I won't let anyone else but me touch her, even you. Whoa. His face and lips swept towards me. I closed my eyes, but nothing ever came. When I peeked my eyes open, Mr. Saijo was looking at my lips. You didn't kiss Mr. Kaido, did you? His eyes bored into me. I couldn't believe he was asking if I really kissed Mr. Kaido. I did not. Why would I ever? All I wanted to know what was going on with... Really? I see a little bit of lipstick that faded off. Right here. He gently touched my bottom lip. I never kissed anyone but you, but... Realizing what embarrassing thing I had just said, I shrunk away. Hey, Kaido, can you leave us alone for a minute? Calm down. Let's just explain what's going on already. Can't you see she's totally lost? Please. You're right. I'm sorry. Were you worried? In an instant, he was back to the Mr. Saijo, but I knew. He wasn't ignoring me. He wasn't acting cold towards me. It felt so wonderful. Of course I was. My eyes teared up quickly when he noticed his eyes opened with surprise. We set up an act to see if Meraki was cameras in the office or not. It's part of our plan to make it look like Kaido and I are fighting. You played your part well, so don't cry, okay? He spoke in a hurry after seeing my tears to help calm me down. All right. While wiping away some tears, I nodded. However, Mr. Saijo was still acting flustered. You're the one who needs to calm down. I'm out of here. Good night. Sorry. Bye. Mr. Kaido made his exit from the room. I'm sorry, I really am. No, it's okay. I understand now. He cradled my cheek with his hand and brought out lipstick to fix mine. Look at you, using lipstick like a good girl. You've become more and more beautiful. While he was applying it, I couldn't speak, so I simply nodded. His touch was as kind and as gentle as I remembered. I could feel tears starting to form as everything he told me about the act sunk in. Your lips. Huh? It's like your lips are like they were just made for me. His words filled my heart with joy. Was this what it was like when a man was so much in love? I'm sure anyone would have loved to hear those words. I stared up into his eyes as he fixed the lipstick on my lips. Mr. Saijo continued to cross my lips. Those words sounded like something I could use to advertise our lipstick. It made the whole situation seem all the more embarrassing. About Meraki. He started talking while still going on about my lips. Yeah? It's possible he isn't only causing problems for us, but also leaking info to other companies. It has to be him who stole our data and deleted it. He got too cocky. While explaining this all to me, he looked so very sad. I didn't want to seem like this. Isn't there something we can do to stop him? I'm working on it. I just don't want you to get involved any more than you already are. It's fine. I'll be okay, because you... Before I could finish, my entire face went red. What's wrong? Wait, it seemed like you knew what I wanted to say. Were you thinking you'll be okay because I'm there to protect you? Was I? Not did I? Yeah. With my cheeks all blushed, I nodded. However embarrassed I was to admit it, it was the truth. Really? Thanks. I'm glad you believe in me so much. He turned away shyly, while in turn made me feel all the more embarrassed. Well, we better get out of here before I lose my control. He took me by the arm to lead me out of the room, my mouth still wide open. Whatever it was just between the two of us, I couldn't help but desire him, no matter where or when. I dismissed the dirty thoughts in my head and followed him to the exit where Mr. Kaido waited. When I thought of what he had said to me in the office and hotel, I couldn't just look at him. Seeing that, Mr. Saijo looked at him with a glare that wasn't quite friendly. What are you doing here? Weren't you leaving? I forgot to tell you something, so I waited. He really didn't do anything to me, I promise. I did hug you. Just then, I thought he was going to do him a favor for not mentioning it. He did it himself. Tension grew between them as they walked ahead, leaving me to catch up. This was bad. Mr. Saijo looked furious, and I didn't even know why Mr. Kaido said that anyway. When I caught up to them, Mr. Saijo put his arm around me and pulled, walking by my side. His face looked scary. I was too frightened to even keep my eyes on it. I thought of a way to get back at Meraki. You two can help. Why are you looking at me like that? I have to be mad at you for our plan to work. I'm mad at you now. You don't need to pretend right now. That's all for later. I need your help for this to work. No, I'm not pretending. You touched her, didn't you? Huh? Mr. Kaido glanced at me with a really annoyed face as he asked me to do something about him. Mr. Saijo? What is it, my angel? What? Yeah. His skull turned into a pleasant smile when he faced me instead of Mr. Kaido. I couldn't believe how he acted sometimes. Still, I had to do something about it. Mr. Kaido really cares about you a lot. You are good friends, so I think you should trust him a little more than you are. They are friends, right? It was easy to see how well they got along together. No, you're right. It was his idea, and I went along with it. Really? Thank you for helping, Mr. Kaido. Cut it out. If you say anything to me, he'll become jealous as hell. The Saijo gave me a nasty look. How can you be this jealous when I only thanked the man? Anyway, I would like to hear what plan you came up with. Yeah, I want to hear it. Could you tell us more about it? But first, put some space between you two. She goes on my side, not yours. Don't go near him, okay? Mr. Saijo smiled at me, but his eyes looked anything but happy. I heard a big sigh from Mr. Kaido, so I lowered my head in shame. I'm sorry, Mr. Kaido, for all of this. It's fine. Anyway, I'll explain. The day came when the plan Mr. Kaido thought up would go into action. On that specific weekend, we all met up in the city. Will he come? Yeah, I'm sure of it, right, Saijo? Of course, Mr. Otori even lent us a hand. The plan had Meraki and Mr. Otori passing by the place we waited at. I held onto the bottom of my shirt nervously. This Meraki was always causing Mr. Saijo to worry. Whenever he spoke to him, he looked so pained. If our plan succeeded today, there would be nowhere for Meraki to hide anymore. That is, we would get all the evidence we needed against him. Mr. Saijo? Yes. He was watching the path, fixated, just looking at him. I felt worried. I saw the plan. The plan must go on. Never mind. Okay. So Saijo smirked and nodded at me. He must have known what I wanted to say. If we gave up on the plan, Meraki would continue causing trouble for people. They're here. Mr. Saijo twitched in response before closing his eyes in concentration for one moment. Let's go. I prepared myself mentally for what was to come. Okay. Two figures headed straight towards us, through the crowd of people. One of course, was Mr. Otori, the other a person who seemed vaguely familiar. I knew that person, but from where? Wait, I remembered now. I whispered into Mr. Saijo's ear. I've seen him before. He was staring at us when we were walking together. Really? I had no idea. But thanks for telling me. He looked into my eyes with an endearing smile. You've worried about me for so long, but you don't need to do that just today. It is if we can somehow manage to clean up our past. His expression turned into one of regret and bitterness. I couldn't take my eyes off his face. Turned towards them and started forward, with me hurrying to catch up from behind. I had to see this with my very own eyes, at his side. My heart was pounding like a drum. With every step, it became louder. And then, as we passed them by, who knew you'd be so sloppy? Meraki stopped in his track at once. What? I glanced at Mr. Otori, who was watching the events unfold carefully. In my mind, I prayed for Mr. Saijo's safety, without realizing my hands clenched together in prayer. You know what I mean. You aren't the kind of person to forget so easily. Forget what? Don't play stupid. Mr. Saijo gave him an eerie smile. Don't tell me you already forgot that you tampered with her email and sent it out. Or that when you changed the sample request, it was all there, on your computer. Too hard for you. You should have used a better program if you didn't want to get caught. Meraki. He rubbed his face right up to Meraki's. You thought you were so clever, but you always fall apart in the end. Shut up! Mr. Saijo! He was picked up by his collar by Meraki, and I screamed in fright. However, unlike the crazed Meraki, Mr. Saijo stared down at him with complete composure. If you hadn't betrayed me, I wouldn't have to suffer so much to get transferred here. It's all your fault. You betrayed me. You took all the credit and fame for yourself. If you hadn't been so selfish, you wouldn't have to go through all this. It's all your own fault. Why do you think I got her involved? So you would remember how terrible a person you really are. Did she suffer? No, not enough. She deserves so much worse than being hacked. It's retribution for what you did to me. Checkmate. Otori clapped his hands together once with a loud pop, bringing everyone back to reality. Damn it all the hell! Meraki grinding his teeth in frustration before turning around and sprinting away. Mr. Saijo, are you okay? Instead of answering me, he had just watched Meraki run off into the distance. Well, so much for that guy's plan. His eyes were as grieving as if he had lost something precious forever. Well, that went well. I'm glad to see it ended without any violence. Are you okay, Saijo? Yeah, I'm good. You did a fine job forcing it out of him. You truly are the scariest person in our company. Am I supposed to take that as a compliment? He wore a faint smile as Mr. Otori pat him on the back. Of course, to pull a scheme like that, it's a very valuable trait. We heard he was guilty right from his own mouth. Couldn't have asked for anything more. Good work. Thank you. A very pleased Mr. Otori thanked everyone for their help in the plan before excusing himself. Just Mr. Kaido, Mr. Saijo, and I remained. Kaido didn't do anything. He's just here was what? Back up? It was all over so we could relax, but Mr. Saijo's face looked a bit pale. Was this a good time to ask him about it? Ask? As soon as I was going to ask, I decided not to. If he wanted to talk, he would. It'll be fine. Mr. Kaido gave Mr. Saijo a huge slap on the back. Mr. Saijo stumbled forward, then turned back with a smirk. The two chatted together for a little while until Mr. Kaido decided to leave as well. It seemed to me that Mr. Saijo was trying his best to put on a happy face for us. I had to say something. It was too hard to bear seeing him like this any longer. It was my responsibility to cheer him up when he was sad. None of this is your fault. It's bothering you, right? The thing Muraki said? About when you went in to apologize for his mistake, isn't it? Yeah. It all boils down to a difference of opinion, that's it. So it's not about who's right or wrong. I'm sorry. Huh? I need to think about this on my own for a while, so I'm sorry. Oh, thanks. I wanted to reach out and stop him, but it would change nothing. I watched him walk away alone. Thanks for what? Instead of thanking me, he should be more concerned about his own well-being. Feeling completely helpless, I stumbled towards the train station to go home. A few long and gloomy days later, I found myself in the meeting room. There was a rumor spreading that I had left the office with Mr. Kaido. However, both Mr. Kaido and Mr. Saijo denied it, so the rumor quickly died. That didn't do anything to improve the shaky relationship between Mr. Saijo and me, though. We were polite to each other, but we were keeping our distance. It was hard for me to carry on like that. I had to do something. Now all that's left is the color. Have any ideas? His eyes were vacant, lifeless. It hurt me to look at him. I have a few. Oh. Can I see? I have some of my own as well. I'll take a look at yours. As for mine, the concept is a woman in love. I feel I could actually visualize the concept now that I have been in love. I put together my feelings of love and Mr. Saijo and my ideas. My inspiration as colors that I want to give to you. I glanced at his papers when I saw his selection. My eyes opened in surprise. Shiny? Shiny crimson. What about it? Our eyes met. I picked that too. I called mine shiny crimson too. I was inspired by something you said to me. Really? When a guy gives a girl lipstick, he wants to make her his own. If a gift for lovers, so among all the other colors, the most precious, next to gold. Because he wants to capture her heart, by any means possible. I couldn't bear it any longer. I had to look away. With that in mind, I picked crimson. Sakiko. He slowly stood up and wrapped his arms around me. I think anyone would be happy to get lipstick like that. I read that as that's supposed to be the other way around. Sorry. I think anyone would be happy to get lipstick like that. Not bad. I stretched my arms around his back, holding him in a loving embrace. Here's what I bought. Great work. These are wonderful. Let's go with this. It'll be a hit, I'm sure. Okay. He finally smiled. It had been so long since I had seen it. It made me feel so good. If I could describe it, it felt like the start of a new beginning, like things finally started moving forward again. Well, well. Mr. Kaido! He came in on us holding each other. I scrambled to get away from Mr. Saijo. Mr. Saijo bore a hateful glare upon Mr. Kaido. I came to talk about work, but it looks like I'm getting in the way here. You have the worst timing, ever. Not at all. We would love to help you. This room is a sacred land where we shared our love for each other. Got it, Kaido? What? Your love? Forget that. Anyway, what is that you're holding? I got this from Mahiro. He's done with the design, so I brought it for him. I took the paper from Mr. Kaido and noticed a note on the margin. It said, "Keep up the good work. I tried to make something new and exciting for you guys. I know you two will be able to make something truly amazing. Good luck." Also, I have a message from Ibuki. He says that you don't get down over it. Oh, Kentaro, my old college guy. Can we get a chapter with him? Because it's like it was very important, but he used to go to school with us, and then there's no chapter. It just seems silly. About what? Okay, thanks. I had no idea what they were talking about, so I looked at the design that Mihira had made. This is gorgeous. It'll match up with the crimson perfectly, especially this white part here. If this is a sign to go with crimson, then we'd better not ignore it. Mr. Kaido said he would take care of the production arrangements for us. We could finally relax just a little bit more at work. I was organizing the last of the needed papers when Mr. Saijo came back into the office. It was only the two of us working late. I hadn't expected to see him stay until this hour. Talk to him, don't talk to him. Talk to him. I'm leaving now. I just didn't feel right to leave without saying anything. Alright. Did you get a lot done? Yeah, it's going pretty well. Good. Mr. Saijo? Yes? I know the whole situation became rocky and you ended like this, but, I let out a sigh. I'm sure that someday Meraki will understand why you had to do this. Yeah. Before I could say anything, he leaned forward and hugged me. Thank you. With his head resting on my shoulder, he nodded over and over, as if agreeing with me. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that wraps up that chapter, so let me know what you guys thought about chapter 6 in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Kaze out.